Hello everyone, welcome back to this video lecture number 3 on projection of solids. In this video I am going to take up two problems, one on hexagonal pyramid and another one on pentagonal prism. First of all, let me take up a problem on hexagonal pyramid. A hexagonal pyramid of 25 mm sides of base and 50 mm height is resting on one of its triangular faces on HP. Draw the projections of pyramid when axis makes an angle of 40 degree with VP. Let us list all the given data. A type of solid is a hexagonal pyramid. A sides is of 25 mm and the height of axis is 50 mm. And the pyramid is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. In the previous two problems we have discussed about a problem resting on one of its either edge or on a corner. But in this problem we are going to discuss in such a way that a pyramid is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. And the axis inclination is given, it is 40 degree with respect to VP. Since here axis inclination is given with respect to VP, we need to calculate the beta angle as we discussed in the previous two problems. Let us solve the given problem. Now we will start solving the given problem. The given problem is a hexagonal pyramid of sides 25 mm and height 50 mm. It is resting on one of its triangular faces. It is resting on one of its triangular faces on HP and the axis is inclined at 40 degrees to VP. The given problem is a hexagonal pyramid resting on HP on one of its triangular faces on HP and the axis is inclined at 40 degrees to VP. So I'll start drawing the initial position. Let me take up the top view and the front view of a given pyramid at this condition. Okay, since it is resting on one of its triangular face and the triangular face will be on one of its edge, so I am going to take that edge perpendicular to XY line. So in the initial condition I am going to take the one of its edge perpendicular to XY line, so that in the next condition I can make the triangular face resting on HP. I'll start solving the given problem. I'll construct hexagon in the top view. I'm going to make use of circle method to draw the hexagon in the top view. I'm going to draw the circle of a given side length, that is 25 mm, and then I'm going to draw a vertical diagonal line, and from that vertical diagonal line I'm going to cut two arcs on both the sides, and then I'm going to connect the points on that is the arc that I have been obtained on the circumference of the circle. So it will be easier to construct the hexagon by this method. It will be easy to find out the center of the pyramid also. Just by drawing the diagonals, it will be easy for us to find out the center. And since all the slant edges are visible, directly we can connect these diagonals. So this completes drawing the top view of the pyramid. Let me name, I'll name this as A, B, C, D, E and F, as well as in the top view we are going to name the apex as well as base. I'll name the base as O and the apex as O1. Since base is invisible, since that is the center of the base is invisible, I am going to keep it inside the brackets. Okay. Now we need to draw the front view. Project all the points from the top view to VP. Before that, draw the axis. The given axis length is 50 millimeter. And one more thing, in this problem, the axis will be hidden by the one of the visible slant edge. I'll show you how. I'll name this as O1 dash, and this is A dash and B dash, and this is C dash and F dash, and this is D dash and E dash, and also mark O dash. I am going to connect the slant edges in the front view. I am going to connect O to A and B. Now here I need to connect O to C and F, but there is an axis line already drawn, but the priority should be given to the visible edge. So I am going to draw the visible edge over that axis. You can show the axis by extending a little bit above the apex and a little bit below the base. Okay, so this completes the front view of a pyramid, and here I need to mark the invisible points. B, C and D are visible. A, F and E are invisible. So keep A dash, F dash and E dash within the brackets, and even O dash is invisible. Now, so this is the initial position what we have taken. We have taken the top view of this pyramid and I have taken the front view of this pyramid. Now I need to satisfy the condition with respect to HP. The problem is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. So now this is the triangular face. I am going to take it as this is A, B, O. O, A, B is the triangular face and it is resting on HP means, so this is the required condition. So this is the required condition of a pyramid. Okay, with respect to HP, it is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. So now at this position I will take once again the front and the top views. So here I need to redraw this view as usual. In the previous problems what we discussed, an axis inclination was given with respect to HP, right? So we are taking the base inclination so that we are redrawing this view. But here axis inclination is not given. Instead of that, a triangular face is resting on HP. The pyramid is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. Here the triangular face what we have selected here is, it is O, A and B. This is the triangular face on which the pyramid is resting. So this OAB is represented by the line O dash, A dash and B dash in the front view. So I am going to place this line O dash, A dash, B dash on XY line. So that indicates that pyramid is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. That is, it is resting on the triangular face OAB on HP. So now directly I am going to draw this line on XY line. So I am going to mark this point as O1 dash. Now you measure this length, which indicates the triangular face. So mark it here. Similarly, you measure this length. We are just redrawing this view such a way that O dash, A dash, B dash is on XY line. I am going to measure this length and I am going to draw an arc, and then once again I am going to measure this length and I am going to cut an arc. So this is A dash and B dash. Okay. From A dash and B dash I am going to measure this length and I am going to cut an arc here. So this is point D dash and E dash. So by connecting this, I am going to get the base, and by connecting this I am going to get one more slant edge, O, D and E. Similarly, you mark this point on the base. This point gives us O dash, C dash and F dash. So this is C dash and F dash, as well as it is showing O1 dash. So connect O to C and F. So now we have redrawn the front view such a way that it is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. Now get the top view. Project all the points to HP. Project one by one. This is point C, this is point F, this is point A and E. So this is point O1 and here will be point O, and this is point A, and this will be point B, this will be point C, this is point D, E and F. So now we need to apply the rule of visibility. According to it, first you connect all the boundary points. I am going to connect A to B, then I am going to connect A to F, then B to C, then C to O and O to F. Now we need to check for the visible and invisible edges. Here you can observe the pyramid is resting on one of its triangular face on HP. So looking from the top, you will be able to see the base. So all base edges are visible, right? A, B, C, D, E and F. All the base edges are visible. So first let us make all the base edges visible. Right here, you can also check here. Observer is here. The nearer point to the observer is D and E. So obviously D and E will be visible. Make it dark. So base is visible. Now check the slant edges. Already we have connected O to C and O to F. The remaining 4 slant edges are O to A, O to B, O to E and O to D. Here you can observe O to D and O to E are nearer to the observer. See, these are the 2 slant edges that are nearer to the observer. It is visible O to A and O to D. The two, and even it is visible. Okay. So this is O to E and O to D, and even F and C are visible. The only 2 invisible slant edges are O to A and O to B. Right. This is far away from the observer. So O to A and O to B are invisible. And join that with a dashed line. That is the triangular face on which the pyramid is resting will be invisible, and this will be visible. O to E and O to D are visible, and show the axis with a change in line. Now, in the next condition, we have obtained the views at this position, right? Now, axis inclination is given with respect to VP. It is 40 degree. Axis is making an angle of 40 degree with VP. Now, we need to check whether we need to calculate beta angle or not. So, here, first check the true length of the axis. It is 50 millimeter, right? The true length of the axis will be 50 millimeter, but if we check here, it is shortened by some length. That is the axis length in the top view, the second top view now measures 45 millimeter. So it is shortened by 5 millimeter. So we need to calculate the beta angle. Already we have discussed how to calculate the beta angle. We can calculate it separately, or we can directly get the beta angle here itself. Now I am going to directly get the beta angle by constructing here itself. First I am going to draw a 40 degree line. And one more thing, here the view, here this is the previous view what we have obtained, right? Now we can redraw it in this way, right? Axis is parallel to XY line. It should be 40 degrees to VP. Either I can place the pyramid like this, or even I can place it like this, right? You can do it in any way. First of all, I am going to draw a 40 degree line, the given inclination, that is true inclination. On this true inclination line, I need to mark what? The given axis length. The given axis length is 50 millimeter. I am going to measure the given axis length, and I am going to cut an arc here. and then I'm going to get the locus. After drawing the locus, I need to measure the apparent axis length. This axis should be slightly upper than what I have drawn here. Just I'm going to redraw it. Now I am going to mark the apparent axis length on the locus. So this is the required beta angle, and this is the required beta angle, and directly I am going to draw it with a chain thin line. So this is the required axis now. Let me directly name it as O1 and O. So now I am going to redraw the remaining points by taking the reference of O1 and O. And also let me see how much is the beta angle. So now the obtained beta angle is 45 degree. Right. Just to do the dimensioning. Beta angle is equal to 45 degree. Now we need to get all these remaining points. We need to redraw this second top view in such a way that it is inclined at 45 degree. The axis should be inclined at 45 degree. That's the obtained beta angle. Now I'm going to take reference of O1 to E. O1 to E, and then I'm going to take O to E. Here you should be very careful while redrawing this view. Most of the students will go wrong in this point. Now I'm going to measure once again O to D. Similarly measure be careful while drawing these views. This is now I have obtained point D and E. Let us get the remaining points. I am going to measure O to F. O to C both will be measuring same length, so directly I am going to cut an arc from here O to F and O to C, and here measure this length. F and C. Now I got point F and C. Next thing is to get points A and B. Measure O1 to A and O1 to B. O1 to A and O1 to B. Now measure O to A and O to B. Both will be the same length. This is O to A and O to B. So now I have obtained all the points with the reference of O1 and O. This is point A and B. Now you join all the points. O to E and O to D are visible as seen in the previous step, and then O1 to A, it's a dashed line, O1 to B is a dashed line. Now after drawing this, I am going to project all these points to the front view to get the final view. So initially we have taken the front and top views at this position, and then later on I have rested the entire solid and none of its triangular faces, and then we have made an axis inclination of 40 degree with respect to what VP, and we have obtained a beta angle also. So this is the final required position. Now at this required position you need to take the top view and the front view. Already we have drawn the top view. We need to get the front view. For getting the front view, you project all these points. Now let me project one by one. I am going to project O1 first. O1 is on XY line itself, right? So I am going to mark O1 dash. Similarly, A and B are also on XY line. I am going to project A till the XY line. Also I am going to project B till the XY line. So name this as B dash and this as A dash. Now let me project this C, O and F with a straight line. All are on the same line. C, O and F. I am going to project O now. So as soon as you got this point, it's better to name it. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you need to search for the points if you project all the lines and then if you try to name it. Now I'm going to project C. And I'm going to project F. Name these points. This is F dash and this is C dash, right? Then I'm going to project D and E. And point E is here and the point D is here. Name this as point D dash and this as point E dash. So now I projected all the points. First thing is, according to the rule of visibility, connect all the boundary points here. O1, B1, A1, sorry, O1 dash, B dash, A dash, F dash, E dash, D dash are the boundary points. Connect all those things. Already base is on XY line. O to B and A. Now connect F to E, E to D, then D to O. Okay. Now the observer is here, right? The given condition now, the pyramid is in this condition. Now looking from the front view. In the front view you are able to see the entire base edges, right? A, B, C, D, E and F. Similarly you can see here A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E and E to F is clearly visible. So I am going to connect all these things with a dark line. Already they are connected. Only thing is you need to connect B to C and C to D. Okay. Now all the base edges are connected. Now we need to look for a slant edges. Already O to B and O to A are on XY line, they are on a boundary. No need to search for it. O to D, it is also already in a boundary. We need to search for O to C, O to E and O to F, whether they are visible or not. C is nearer to the observer, so obviously it will be visible, so make it dark. Okay. Now if you look here, this entire solid is hiding point F and E, so those 2 points are invisible. Here also you can observe. So this is the given condition. So this is point A, B, C, D, E and F. This is point E and this is point F, and it is inclined at an angle of 45 degree. And if you look from this view, these 2 slant edges will be invisible. Okay. Here also you can see these 2 points are away from the observer, so they are invisible. And also one more thing here, if you try to draw a dark line, 2 dark lines are crossing each other, so that should never happen while drawing the projection of solids. So it should be a dashed line. Similarly O to F also is a dashed line, which indicates that slant edge is not visible to the observer. Also connect the axis. Right, this is the required solution for the given problem. Now let us take the next problem. A pentagonal prism of 25 mm sides of base and 50 mm height is resting on a corner of its base. Draw the projections of pyramid when the axis makes an angle of 30 degree to HP and appears to be inclined at 30 degrees to VP in top view. Let us list the given data. The given type of solid is a pentagonal prism, and the side length is 25 mm and the height of the axis is 50 mm. The problem is resting on one of its corner on HP, and the axis inclination with VP is given as appears to be inclined at 30 degrees to VP. It means directly they have given the apparent angle, that is beta angle is directly given. So no need to find out the beta angle once again in this problem. So we need to directly take up a 30 degree and we need to redraw the second top view so that no need to take a beta angle for this given problem. Now let us solve the given problem. Now let's start solving the given problem. I have already placed the prism in its initial position. A prism is resting on one of its corners. So I have taken the resting corner towards the right side. Okay, I have taken A as resting corner and I have taken it towards the right side. And I have also drawn the initial view of a pentagon in the top view. Here, in case of prism, it will be having, as we all know, it will be having two faces. One is a top face and another one is a bottom face. I am going to name the bottom face points as A1, B1, C1, D1 and E1, and the center of the base as O1. And I am going to name the top face points as A, B, C, D and E, and I am going to mark the center of the top face as O. Let me start naming the points in the top view. This is point A, B, C, D and E, and also I need to mark the bottom face points also. I am going to name it as A1, B1, C1, D1 and E1. And if you look from the top, you will be able to see only the top face points, that is A, B, C, D, E and O. It is not possible to see the bottom face points A1, B1, C1, D1 and E1. So I am going to keep all these points within the brackets, which indicates all the bottom face points are invisible. Let me also mark the center of a polygon. Mark the midpoint of any one of the edge and draw a line to the opposite corner. Repeat the same with one more corner and edge, so that you are going to get the center of the polygon. I am going to name it as O as well as O1, and since O1 is a base, I am going to keep it inside the bracket. And one more thing, unlike in case of pyramid, here no need to connect these corners to the center. This because here if you look from the top, it's a plane surface. Unlike in case of a pentagon pyramid, if you take a pentagon pyramid, if you look from the top, you'll be able to see all these slant edges, O to A, O to B, O to C, O to D and O to E. You'll be able to see all the slant edges from the top view in case of a pyramid. So we were joining all the corners to the center. But here in case of a prism, it is not necessary to connect the corners to the center of the polygon. Okay, this is because it is a flat surface. Even from the top as well as in the bottom, it's a flat surface. It's not necessary to connect the corners to the center of the base or a top surface. So this completes the top view. Now for drawing the front view, project all these points to BP. First of all, I am going to mark the axis. Axis is 50 millimeter. And then I am going to connect the remaining edges. Here there are two faces, one is top face and the bottom face, right? The top face points are, this is point A and this is point B as well as E, and this is point C dash as well as D dash, and this is point O dash, and this is point A1 dash, B1 dash and E1 dash. This is O1 dash, this is C1 dash and D1 dash. Now I have marked all the top and the bottom face points, and we need to mark the invisible edges. Observer is looking from here. Point C is visible, point B is visible, point A is visible, E and D, right? The edge, the slant edge, that is E to E1 and D to D1 are invisible, but they are hidden by a visible edge C to C1 and B to B1. But to indicate that E1 and D1 are invisible, I am going to keep it inside the bracket. Keep D and D1 dash, E and E1 dash within the bracket, which indicates that the edges are invisible. Now also do the dimensioning in the front view. It is 50 millimeter height, now this completes the initial position. Since the given problem is resting on corner, we have taken the one of the corner towards right side. Now, since the axis inclination is given as 30 degrees to HP, okay, first we need to satisfy the condition with respect to HP. So, since A is the resting corner, I am going to tilt the prism in such a way that axis is making an angle of 30 degrees. So, this is the condition, right? Axis will be making an angle of 30 degree. If the axis is making an angle of 30 degree, base will be making an angle of how much? 90 minus 30, that will be equal to 60, right? So we'll start taking a reference of base and we'll redraw this view in such a way that the prism is resting on its corner A. So I'll directly draw the base inclination of 60 degree. So on the 60 degree line, let me mark all the base points. This is A1 dash, and let me mark the remaining points of a base. This is C and D, and this is O, and this is V and E. This is point B1 dash and C1 dash, and this is O1 dash, and this is B1 dash and E1 dash. I'm going to make it dark. So I started drawing the base. Since axis inclination is 30 degree, I have taken base inclination as 60 degree. Now I am going to draw the axis. It is 50 millimeter, and it should be exactly perpendicular. While drawing this view, axis and base should be perpendicular to each other, and then draw the remaining edges A2, A1, and all these things should be perpendicular to each other. We are just redrawing the first front view. So that prism is resting on its corner and the axis is making an inclination of 30 degree. Okay, now we have redrawn this view such a way that it is resting on its corner and the axis making an angle of 30 degree, and this is point. These are the top face points. It is A dash, and this is B dash and E dash, and this is O dash, and this is D dash and C dash. Now to get the top view, project. You can also do the dimensioning. The axis inclination is 30 degree. Now let me project all the points from front view to top view. Here the number of points to be projected will be more compared to the prism. If you take a pentagonal prism, it will be having 5 points at the base and 1 at the apex, right? But if you take a pentagonal prism, there are 5 points at the base and 5 points at the top, and also 2 axis points. So we will be projecting 12 points here. So you should be careful while projecting all these points. So it's better to project one by one. Now I am projecting the base points. As soon as you project the base points from the front view, you project the same in the top view also, and you complete the marking process. It is point A, now point B. Let me mark it first. This is point A1, and this is point B1, and this is point O1, and then I am projecting point E. This is point E1. All these are our base points. Now I am going to project point D and C. This is point B1 and C1. So now I have projected all the base points, and now I am going to project the top face points. Extend this point A, similarly point C and D, similarly point E and B. So let me name the points. This is point A and this is point B and this is point C, this is point D and this is point E and this is point O. So now I have projected all the points from front view to top view. Now we need to apply the rule of visibility. Now by applying the rule of visibility, I am going to complete the second top view. First I am going to connect all the boundary points D1 to C1, C1 to B1, B1 to B, then B to A to E, E to E1, and then E1 to D1. So first I have completed all the boundary points. I have connected all the boundary points. Now we need to check for the invisible points. Since the observer is here, if you look from the top, first search for the farthest point. So A1 is the farthest point. Since A1 is the farthest point, A1 is invisible, right? If A1 is invisible, A1 to A, the edge connecting from A1 to A will also be invisible. So let me connect A1 to A with a dashed line. Okay. If A1 is invisible, A1 to E1 also will be invisible. Similarly, A1 to B1 will also will be invisible, because here you can observe this is the given prism resting on one of its corner, right? So since A is the resting corner, if you look from the top, A to E and A to B both are invisible, right? Since it is resting on its corner, the edges connecting to that corner will also be invisible. So the edge connecting to that corner is E to A and A to B. So connect that with a dashed line. Now this completes the bottom face, right? I have connected all the edges of the bottom face. Now if you look from the top, here these are the top face points A, B, C, D, E. It is clearly visible to the observer. Looking from the top, observer is able to see all these edges. So all the edges in the top view are visible. right? C and D are nearer to the observer, so C and D is clearly visible. Make it dark. And also C to C1, D to D1, they also clearly visible. So make it dark. And the rest of the edges are already connected. And we can show the axis, but it is already connecting one of the invisible edge. So just show it beyond that invisible edge line. Now in the next condition, since the given problem is resting on one of its corner and the axis appears to be inclined at 30 degrees to VP. So this is the condition with respect to HP. Right. Now the axis is making an angle of 30 degree with VP. This is the required condition. Okay. No need to find out the beta angle here because already they have given the apparent angle, that is an axis appears to be inclined at 30 degrees to VP. So directly I am going to draw a 30 degree line, and on the 30 degree line I am going to redraw this V. Right. This is the required position. Okay. Now I am going to draw a 30 degree line. On this 30 degree line, I am going to mark this point. Since axis is making an angle of 30 degree, this entire view should be redrawn taking O and O1 inclined at 30 degree. Now I am going to redraw this entire view taking reference of O and O1. First of all, I am going to mark a point O here. Let me mark a point O here. This is point O. I am going to measure O to O1. Similarly, O to A1. First of all, mark all the points on that 30 degree line. Which are all the points that we want to get? I'm going to get O, O1, A, A1, all are on that axis line. So first I'll mark all these points. So this is point A, this is point A1, and this is point O1. I need to get the remaining points. I am going to take the reference of O2 E and O2 B. Both will be at the same length, O2 E and O2 B. So I am going to cut an arc from O2 E and O2 B, and then I am going to take a reference of E. Either you can take a reference of A or O1, any point. So by this I am going to get the points A, B and E. Similarly, measure A to D and A to C, cut an arc A to D and A to C, Then we measure O to D and O to C. This is point A, B, C and D. Then let me connect A1 to E1. The same length will be for B1 also. And take reference of O1 to E1. Similarly for O1 to B1, and then measure O1 to D1 and C1. This is O1 to D1 and C1. Then measure A1 to D1 and C1. So now I have obtained all the points. This is point B1, C1, D1 and E1. So I'll connect all the boundary points. C to D, then D to E. Should be very careful in this step. Then B to B1, E to E1, E1, then E to A and B to A. Since the previous view you can see all the top face are visible, you make it dark, join with the continuous line. A to A1 is a dotted line, that's a dashed line. Then A1 to E1 is a dashed line. Then A1 to B1. So now I have redrawn the second top view in such a way that axis is making an angle of 30 degree. Here no need to calculate a beta angle because already they have given the apparent angle, that is 30 degree. Now you need to project all these points to the front view to get the final view. Now also you project one by one. Let me project the base points first. I am going to project A1 first. A1 is on XY line itself. I am going to project A1. And as soon as I project it, I am going to name it. This is A1 dash. And then I am going to project D1. And then I am going to project C1. And I am going to get it here. This is point C and D. D1, C1, and then I'm going to project point O1. Here O1 and C1 are almost on the same line. So this is point O1, and then I'm going to project B and E. Point B is here. And point E is here. Name this as point B1 and name this as point E1. Now project all the top face point. I'm going to project point A first. Point A. Then point B. Then point E. Point D and C. Once again, C and O almost they are on the same line. This is point C and D. Let me mark it. This is point D dash. And this is point C dash. And this is point A dash. Point B and E are here. Project it. So this is point B dash, and point E dash is here. This is point E dash, and one more thing is point O dash. And this is point O dash. So now I have projected all the points from top view to front view. You should be very careful while projecting all these points. Here you are going to need to project around 5 plus 5, 10, 10 plus 2, 12 points. So you should be very careful while projecting all these points. Now by applying the rule of feasibility, connect all the boundary points. D2, D1 is a boundary. Connect it. Then D1 to E1, E1 to A1, then A1 to A, then A to B, B to C, and C to D. So first of all, we need to connect all the boundary points. Now the observer is here. Since the base is towards the observer, all the base edges will be clearly visible. Now you can see B and C is nearer to the observer. The edge C and B is nearer to the observer. So obviously B and C is clearly visible. So you make connect BC with the continuous line. If B is visible, B to A also visible, and C is visible, C to D also will be visible. If C is visible, the edge connecting from C to C1 will also be visible, and B to B1 will also be visible. Now you need to check whether the top face points, which of the top face points is invisible. If you observe here, E is the farthest point to the observer. Point E is here, right? So point E will be invisible. So you make E to D, connect E to D with a dashed line. Similarly, E to A with a dashed line, which indicates the edge A to E and E to D is invisible. If E is invisible, the edge connecting E to E1 will also be invisible. So connect that with a dashed line. And also connect the axis. So this is the required view. Since if you look from the top view, if you look from here, base is towards the observer. So all the base edges are clearly visible, and the top face is away from the observer, and in that point E is far away from the observer, so E is invisible. So this completes the given problem.